go immediately from stream ending to stream starting. Right. Pop out, get rid of that. Oh, this is... Let's do this one. My team won't let me play topple sticks. Oh no.
Fortunate for them. I wonder why. But I have kind of wanted to try it. Tank fiddle top.
Man, why are all these chats popping off as we're... Oh.
I don't know. Like, what surprises me most is that, like, in-game our mid isn't even that bad.
Oh shit, they just went for it.
Oh fuck.
Alright,
Do we
well...
just leave lobby, or do we
No, we're
go
good.
from here? Oh, okay.
Well, I'm good. We're just going to ignore that there's no intro video. But hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Diamond Final for 2020 Spring Split Get Wrecked. My name's Meristematic. With me today is going to be General Vici.
Yes, we are going into the Diamond Finals with a first man on 200 years himself, Aphelios. Straight from the brain of Riot Design Team.
Yeah, we're currently going to be co-streaming, I guess, with the gold third place game on the second stream. So you can check out Get Wrecked 2 if you're looking for that. That'll be Gods of Herald versus Goliath Esports Warriors. But we have more important business to take care of right now, as it's Return of the Middlesticks versus the Dogwhif Hat Gang for the Diamond Final. I believe this is about a $300 difference between first and second place, but don't quote me.
I think it's like $60 per person difference, something like that. So yeah, that'd be up to around 300. I don't know the exact math, but it's a pretty sizable.
So already the Thresh taken away from the bot lane of Return of the Middlesticks, and the Ivern and the Zac, as well as Misfortune and Fiora hitting the ban list. And first pick now for Return of the Middlesticks. Let's see where they go.
Yeah, pretty standard bans, I'd say, against Return of the Middlesticks. You have the Thresh, and then the Ivern Zac are Divine's most played by far. Tindy's locking in the Draven for his bot laner Wahujin. That's his most played and probably most comfortable AD, along with Yasuo. What kind of surprises me is the AD bans from RotM. Doghat isn't typically a very bot-centric team. Usually play around killering and parry difference to get ahead. So
yeah, in the Syndra, we've already seen flex between Vital and Killering in their semifinal yesterday, so getting that doesn't really tip their hand at all, but it was a strong pick for both of them.
I think yesterday it was still Syndra mid. They put Ziggs
Oh no, they had Ziggs bot. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was still on Killering, and I kind of expect it to go that way. I don't remember any Syndra games from Vital, but he's played one mage. He might be able to play another one and it's not too bad a pick. And then Nocturne along with it to turn off some lights.
Yeah, and this is an identical draft to their game one versus your team yesterday, and we'll see if Return of the Middlesticks can adapt. They're looking at Echo potentially for Algu.
Yeah, assuming into Syndra, I'm not quite sure how the matchup goes, but from what I remember, Echo is pretty good into it just because you get to ult her ult most of the time and negate most of the damage. And then Lulu locked along with it to give the Draven some power, which kind of surprises me because it doesn't feel like a Haley Kyoko pick, but it will give him a bit more late game carry considering how much Draven falls off.
Yeah, and now Dog with Hat Gang looking to counter with their last pick here on red side in this first phase. It's going to be Braum.
Yeah, Rom apparently standard support, sees a lot of play as just a general solid one, and it's pretty decent into Draven because you can shield your AD from the autos that chunk you for a fourth of your health with every one. Seeing an Aurelia ban from with that game after Tendies popped off a bit against Reptar yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we get to see some carry top laners. I know Perry and Tendies both favor that style of champion. Divine's still open for some more bans potentially as well. But it looks like Return to the Middlesticks just going to throw some more ADs on the table.
Yeah, AD pool's already pretty pinched, so it doesn't hurt. I expect if any bans do go towards Divine, it would be Sejuani. They do continue to ban out Tendies, though, because it's going to be a lot of Doghat's power does come from parry difference and killering, so if they manage to get parry difference at a disadvantage, that leaves not as many options for Doghat. And then one more pinch of the AD pool, and we'll see what Vital goes with. And it looks like they're doing the flex.
Yeah, the Cassiopeia, again, doesn't really tip their hand. I'm not sure between Vital and Killering which one the Cassiopeia and which one the Syndra would be, but we'll have a mage bottom for Dog with Hat Gang.
Yeah, I'd anticipate it to be the Syndra bot just because it's a lot easier to learn than the Cassio and play than the Cassio. Cassiopeia is also a pretty well-known killering pick. He did a lot with it in previous splits, and even this split, it's one of his more play champs. So I fully expect it to go mid with Syndra bot, which kind of means that you need a AD champion top to not mono damage type for Doghat, and it's going to have to be something good into Aatrox. I kind of expect Camille.
Yeah, Camille seems like the obvious pick, and there it is for parry difference. We saw him do very well game number one in the semifinal, and the Aatrox for Tendies feels a little bit more standard. I am kind of curious about Divine on the Kindred. Not normally the carry player, and instead going for the marksman jungler.
Yeah, it definitely is kind of a weird pick, especially with this kind of team comp where they don't really have any engage. The best they can do is look for Echo to set up, or Aatrox to set up a flank, and that they have no way to actually start fights. They do have good counter engage with that, though. The Lulu Kindred able to save from the dive of the Nocturne Camille. So it's going to be a pretty weird dynamic in team fights with the push and pull, because neither team really can engage on the other.
Yeah, it feels like Doghat has the more clear engage options, but it's still a little bit difficult. You don't really want to fly solo in as Nocturne. We saw that even cost them a little bit during the semifinal with Nocturne initiating in front of everybody else and just dying basically for nothing. But we'll see. This is basically the same comp that they ran against GSM, and I don't know. It'll be very difficult to get on the Syndra and Cassiopeia, I imagine.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much impossible to get to them. I think the big decider for this game is going to be the top lane matchup. Camille does do well into Aatrox, but it's not as well. Like, people call it a counter matchup, but I would give it like 60-40 to Camille. Aatrox can still do super, super well in it, and if he gets a lead, Camille just can't play. Basically, it's very much a soft counter instead of a hard counter, so... And Tendies, if I remember correctly from the regular season, he tends to beat out parry difference in the 1v1. So I'm And Camille's split push is going to be the main win conditions because I don't see how Doghat managed to engage onto RotM's comp.
Yeah, it feels like a definite draft advantage, much easier to execute comp for Dog with Hat Gang, and a lot of momentum on the side of both teams. I imagine they'll both come out swinging and looking for some early plays with these comps. But 1 minute
Yeah,
30 left in the spectator delay. Again, if you're joining us here, we have the Diamond Final, best of 3 on GetRec 2. We've got the Gold third place match, if you wanted to check that out instead. So,
yeah, and just as we start looking to get into the game, what I'm most curious about is how active both teams are going to be early, because I could see arguments for either side on like what they want to focus, but that's going to be the most important thing, I think, because they can try and get bot lane ahead, they could try and get top lane ahead, mid lane ahead for both teams have kill threat and gank threat in all 3 lanes. So I think whichever team manages better which one they target is going to end up coming out ahead.
yeah, and we've seen Mike, the jungler for Dog with Hat Game, look to put on a lot of early aggression, especially toward the enemy jungle. Do you like the Nocturne into Kindred for that sort of aggressive invading, or do you think he's going to have to play a little bit more passive this game?
I am the probably worst person to ask about jungle matchups. It is by far my worst role. I'd put myself low plat at best in jungle, and that's only because I have at least some mechanics king over, and it's definitely not for any jungle knowledge. My limited experience tells me that Nocturne is going to be perfectly fine into Kindred if he managed to leave the Dusk Trail and just kind of run her down with the Fear Tether, be able to slap her with his very, very high DPS, especially earlier. But I think that if Kindred can also kite it properly, and then I think it also depends a lot on who has more support from their laners.
Yeah, and as we jump into game, just a reminder to you, we're just going to hit the plus button when we load in to make sure we're synced up. And then um, also apologies to the stream, like a little bit as we get into game, but it always shakes off relatively quickly. So welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 1 of the Diamond Final here on Summoner's Rift. On the bottom side of the map, wearing the blue health bars, this game is going to be Return of the Middle Sticks. And on the top side of the map, wearing the red health bars, will be Dog with Hat Gang. Do you think we'll see anything spicy here at level 1 from either side, or who do you think that favors?
I think that if any team goes for the level 1, it's going to be Dog with Hat Gang, just because they have a Braum, who is basically the king of all level 1s. It's like Braum, Ezreal are really good, Sion if you're getting invaded, Taric. But Braum is one of the more well-known ones just because he gets to stun basically everyone with his passive. It does look like they're lining up, so it's a bit of a moot point, which is a bit more in line with what I expected.
Yeah, maybe a late invade here from Return to the Middle Sticks. They're going to grab at least some vision in this area with Haley, Kikyo, and Divine forcing in. They spot the Braum mount. They actually don't leave any vision, kind of interestingly.
Yeah. Oh, ship's passing in the night.
Yeah, Killering in Tendies. Tendies actually gets hookshot on by parry difference. A lot of damage coming down onto him, but not going to blow the flash, just going to hold steady. And he will have to go home and potentially lose a little bit of tempo on that wave.
Yeah, so parry defense will have the push advantage, but I do think that ends up favoring Tendies. He won't miss any minions from what I can tell on it, and he forced Camille to level up E level 1, which doesn't give you a lot of lane pressure level 1. You usually want either the precision protocol on the Q to be able to get some more damage, or even just the tactical sweep. And then Killering also used a decent amount of mana, which Cassio is very mana hungry early before she gets her tier. So that's going to be, it's not too big a deal, but it does leave the smallest of disadvantages for both solo laners.
Yeah, both junglers starting on their red buffs, with Nocturne already leashing over toward his wolves. Divine opting for a little bit more of a full clear on the Kindred, though.
Yeah, he's gonna do the full side. Nocturne just went red with no leash, so he might get a bit lower than normal. He's gonna hit the blue and be seen on the ward. And as Kindred goes to chickens, early push from red side bot lane is a bit of a scuffle top.
Yeah, Tendy's getting a little bit better at that trade up in the top lane on parry difference. The extra shield from the Camille passive not quite enough to equalize that trade, but um, overall, really need to keep an eye on that one just with the two carry top laners, and both really big focuses for their team. Hookshot in from parry difference, just going to get a little bit of a trade down.
Yeah, and that's kind of how you want to play the Aatrox matchup is Camille. You want to be able to poke with your tactical sweep, the sustain it gives you and the damage, and then wait for Aatrox to blow his Qs. When he doesn't have them, he's a really, really weak trader. So you get to just hookshot in after all those are down and get a few autos with any return damage blocked by your passive.
Yeah, and now both junglers gonna look like they're gonna split the Scuttle Crabs, although Mike may be peeking in mid, looking for a gank there, as we're seeing more trading just kind of across the map because directed camera just likes to follow damage. But,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
And I was just going to mention that Kindred got unlucky on the passive roll. The Mark did spawn on the side with Nocturne. Is Draven's going to go forward, get exhausted?
Yeah, gets stunned up. He'll force out of Wuhujin, and he'll just try to kite back with these bouncing axes. Mike is here looking for the Dusk Trail. Haley in the alcove just trying to outplay. Flashes forward for a little bit of damage onto Vital, but it's not going to be enough. It's first blood for the Dog with Hat Gang.
Yeah, that was just... Haley Kyoko wanted to get a bit greedy, look for the flash kill on Syndra. Syndra still had heal and a flash up, so wasn't at risk of dying, as a little bit of fight top side stun lands.
Yeah, stun lands, but now another Q onto Wuhujin in the bottom lane. Tendy's tanks an extra tower shot, not quite able to find that critical damage onto parry difference. But now Algu and Killering just gonna kind of chill in the mid lane.
Yeah, looks like Kindred's coming towards top. Very difference might die if he has hookshot down, but if it's up, he's gonna be fine.
Divine jumps forward, one auto,
It is
two,
down.
gets the stun. A
Wait
lot
a
of damage
second.
coming through. He tries to turn it back on with the tactical sweep, but it's not enough as Tendy's takes the kill.
Yeah, but agreed from him. He wanted to get the stun under tower for Divine, get the kill, but misses the tactical sweep on the end, and that's going to cost him first blood over to Tendy's, which it's a very swingy matchup, Camille into Aatrox, so it's really, really rough that he died there. But if he gets
already
another
the
kill,
teleport back in, tactical sweep hits the hook shot, and he'll trade back the kill at least. So invests his teleport, but he does find the return kill on Tendy's, and also keeps the minion wave from crashing. If he can keep it right here, this could be a nice spot potentially for Nocturne to head up to.
yeah, that's actually really, really good for parry difference. Tendy's overstayed trying to force the wave under the tower, and instead just donates another kill. Now, what is an advantage... Ooh.
More trading, these top laners just showing no mercy for each other. More autos from Tendy's. He canceled one. He gets it with the passive. Tendy's with the solo kill. Now Haley Kyoko gets the slow onto Vital. The stand aside does get the knockback with the electrocute proc. And now Lulu forced to try to kite back. Wuhujin with the crit plus the glitter lance from Haley Kyoko. Nocturne is here though. Not going to do anything. But another kill in the bottom lane. Well, the first kill in the bottom lane goes to Return to the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, that was just action all over the place. Both teams fighting a lot early. The thing I was going to say before Tendy's and Parry Difference start going at it is that because Parry Difference got the kill after he had TP'd, but before Tendy's had TP'd, Tendy's did get to come back with the item difference from the extra gold, and that let him win the very aggro 1v1 between the two players. Then bot lane, they managed to outplay as well from Vital being far forward. He did still have flash up and died, but that was also good for him that Haley Kyoko got the kill instead of the Draven, so not quite cash in.
Yeah,
as
these
of yet.
glitter lances are actually doing a pretty significant amount of damage in this bottom lane. Now the wave pushing forward. Tendy's chooses to pick another fight into the minion wave. Gets a little bit better of the trade. Both players have ultimates available if they want them. He's just going at it with these Qs. The minions don't matter to him, only damage.
Yeah, Parry Difference is being really aggressive into the Aatrox with a lead on him, and you can kind of see where when Aatrox has that lead, he just gets to beat down on the Camille, because Camille likes the short trades a lot.
You're going to go ahead and pop the World Ender. Both ultimates actually used, but we're going to watch the bottom lane as Haley Kyoko just trying to get some autos down. Divine waiting in the wings to see if they try to counter engage. Another auto attack, the Ignite coming down. The stun plus the exhaust is going to be enough, but there's the spinning axe from Wuhujin as they do trade it back.
Yeah, that was just Vital getting greedy for a kill onto Haley Kyoko. Because it panned away, we could kind of tell nothing.
Oh, Algu, another stun. hits off of the Petrifying Gaze, and Killering's able to disengage. Algu looked like he had that, but wasn't able to find that last auto that he needed.
Yeah, and that's just combat all over the place for both teams. They are absolutely going at it with violence in all three lanes and all ends. Now, there is going to be a dragon pickup from Return of the Middle Six because Nocturne had to hold the losing lane top. And top is going to be bleeding a lot from here on out. Camille's at the point where she can't fight Aatrox much. She likes going for short trades, but Aatrox is now winning those short trades, which means that she really doesn't get to do a lot besides farm and hopefully outscale as the game goes on. But with the pressure top lane, Nocturne is 6, so they might look to try and relieve some with the first Paranoia.
Yeah, we'll really want to watch this first Paranoia and see if Mike can get his top laner back in the game or maybe make a play in bottom lane. The world's open to him. But meanwhile, Divine has also hit 6. He's been playing PvE pretty successfully. Got that first dragon in their pocket as well. So small lead right now for Return of the Middle Sticks, but still definitely opportunities for Dog with Hacking.
Yeah, there's going to be a bit of a low point for a while with the dragon down, just because of the way the lanes are pushing. There's no way to really all in it someone, because each of the lanes has at least one person under tower. Though it does look like Agu's running out. They're probably going to look for a dive onto Camille, and I don't, with ult down, I'm not sure quite how well she can outplay it.
Yeah, and now the Executioner's calling on parry difference will help cut into the healing that Tendies has, but not really helpful in that first trade that we saw. Now Algu is looking for the dive, has the Time Sphere available, and will just knock him down. Now Nocturne heads into bottom lane. They're just going to delete the Draven, so the dive in bottom lane goes for Dog with Hacking, and Haley Kyoko needs to get out of here. Hits the Glitter Lance, just going to take some more damage. They should be able to chase him down. No, has the flash available.
Yeah, and that's both teams just deciding what lane they wanted to focus. Return to the Middle Six, they're winning top lane. Doghat respond well with a dive on the bot lane to shut down the Draven and stop him from getting any more cash in. But that does just mean that Camille's out of this. As a top laner, like, if I'm the Camille, I'm out of this game completely. There's no times I can trade with the Aatrox. They're gonna keep diving me over and over again. Herald's gone down. I expect Kindred to at least try and get that drop top lane.
Yeah,
or it might be mid.
Yeah, Algu and Killering find each other over this ward as they head back toward mid lane. Divine just going to head back to his red side jungle and recall. But, yeah, just a really significant advantage in top lane, but bottom lane just a little bit ahead for Doghat. Oh, I guess that's not entirely true. It's 200 gold in the favor of Return of the Middle Sticks as I hit tab, so...
yeah, that Draven passive on his first kill is worth a pretty penny. Try and get the lead. Another fight that very different.
Oh, he got the pullback with the Infernal Chains. The Q3 hits, and he'll just start slapping him down. Parry difference has nowhere he can go. No E back up. He uses the ultimate just as a last-ditch effort, but Tendies takes him to the gray screen.
Yeah, that's gonna be. You just can't fight like that as the Camille. You have to respect Aatrox so much when you're this far down. And just getting yoinked back by the Infernal Change, there's no way you live for that. Now Tower's gonna go down top lane as well, and this is gonna be a pretty dang huge Aatrox in coming team fights.
Yeah, use the Herald just a little bit too early there, but we'll still pick up that tower. We'll see if they can escort that all the way into the tier 2. But Nocturne is on that side of the map. Looks like Cassiopeia might roam up as well. Gonna find Kindred on this ward. Divine has to be careful about how he plays this, but they both have ults available. Gets grounded into the Petrifying Gaze, and he can't even use his ultimate. Divine goes down in the jungle, being a little bit too greedy with his pathing.
Yeah, it was just really nicely played by Killering. Catches him right on the turnaround as Divine tries to go for it. Gets stunned up and gets bursted with the Nocturne.
Yeah, Algu with another good trade onto Killering in the mid lane, though, especially with that Cassio ult down. Algu can be very aggressive if he wants to be. Has the ult, needs the shield here. Gets it finally with the Chrono Break, but not the best trade. Really good, just really well-timed spell shield by Mike.
Yeah, just fight, fight, fight. More. Both teams are looking for blood, but the big beneficiaries of this, I think, have been RotM just because of the gold distribution. There's a slight lead on the Cassio, slight lead on the Syndra, but not too much. And meanwhile, Aatrox is a very, very good chunk of 2,000 gold ahead of the Camille, who and you don't even start to win fights as Camille until way later. It's going to be 4 or 5 items before she's able to 1v1 him, and Aatrox is much better in team fights than Camille. So they're going to have to play around it very well to try and get back in the game from there.
Yeah, slow lands onto Woohoo as they were just trying to back, but Divine just throws out a couple of abilities, going to force them back underneath that tower. The dragon spawns here in 3 seconds. It's a cloud dragon and should be really no ability to contest for Dog with Hacking.
Yeah, there is going to be the cloud drone over, and that's going to put things on a bit of a timer, especially if an Ocean Drake comes up, which Ocean is already by far the best Ocean Soul. I think most everyone would agree, but even like, especially with something like an Aatrox and in long team fights, it's just bonkers. Fortunately for Doghead, it is going to be Mountain, and it looks like they're going to try and fight Aatrox.
Yeah, they're going to lock him down with the Hextech Ultimatum. Mike is here just trying to get that Fear Tether. Q3 lands, he gets feared away, it's enough. And they will take down the Aatrox, get that shutdown onto the Nocturne.
Yeah, that was really, really nice kill that they got there to have the shutdown. Camille can't do much herself because of how bad her prolonged all-in is, but Nocturne has very, very good prolonged all-in in DPS with the lethal tempo. He gets to Fear Lock.
Another stun lands, Woohoo in trouble, gets the Wild Growth for a little bit of health, but just going to be the disengage, the ultimate burned by Haley Kyoko. Divine picks up a mark in the enemy jungle, though. Dashes back over the wall, flashes away from Killering. Vital and Lord Reeves on the way, and that poison will tick him down. Killering is pretty big. He's 2-0-1 on the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, and that's going to re-even the game out, I think. Doghat usually win when Killering gets a lead like this, and he's going to be off to the races with his couple of kills.
The flashing ult over the wall gets the stun down. Now the paranoia comes through, and they're going to eventually kill Woohoo. Now Haley Kyoko gonna get dove underneath this tower. Will it be the trade back with the Ignite? It looks like it will trade. Algu now diving in 1v3 trying to find something. Hits the ult, has the exhaust on him. Doesn't get stunned, but the flash over the wall by Vital to follow. Has the Time Winder just for the slow, and Algu successfully navigates that, only burning its flash.
Yeah, I'm not sure what steroids or whatever both teams took that's made them this aggressive in going for things. They have done basically nothing but fight since minions got to lane.
Divine is here,
and
maybe looking
they aren't
for something.
Stopping.
Yeah, dodges out of the Braum Q. No winner's bite just yet, but Killering is just such a threat on this Cassiopeia. It's hard to get inside his range, and that's what almost every champion on Return to the Middlesticks has to do in order to take him down.
Yeah, and one of the things that we haven't really mentioned about team fights is that Aatrox might be ahead, but looking at it, they have a lot of ways to deal with them. He can't really just run in because you have Syndra Cassio who can stun and then just burst them down with the amount of DPS they have. Because if you blow both Cassio and Syndra ult on Aatrox, he's probably going to die, and Nocturne can even lock him down too if he wants to play a more peel role instead of dive role into a team that's basically impossible to dive with the Kindred Lulu, so Aatrox won't be able to team fight as well as he normally does, and that's gonna make things a lot more interesting, I guess, as it goes forward, because the strong point of RotM might be able to get shut down easier than he normally would.
Yeah, Divine actually securing his own blue buff there, not gonna hand it over to Algu, but Killering will take his own. Rift Herald number 2 on the docket for Return of the Middlesticks as Divine starts that up. Woohoo and Haley Kyoko find Nocturne. They're actually just going to get aggressive, but Parry Difference is here. Lands the hook shot, has the Hextech Ultimatum available if he wants to pull it, but he'll get polymorphed as he tries to go. Tendies is along the side, hits a huge damage, the triple Q doing quite a bit, but Parry Difference shuts him down. Good ultimate from Lord Reeves to try to disengage. There's one more auto that's needed, but he has the stopwatch. Divine has to pop the Lamb's Respite. Woohoo gets inside of it, but there's not enough damage to come through. Vital's here now, and Haley Kyoko is forced to turn tail. I think Lulu can get away from this. Has the speed boost. Might get tracked down. A lot of drama involved here. Winner's Bite connects. That should spell doom. Finally, the flash forward. Nocturne wanted to save it. There's the Fear Tether, and Nocturne will take it home. 4 kills for the Dog with Hat gang.
Yeah, they really wanted that Lulu at the end there, but that was such a good stopwatch bait from Lord Reeves. Gets them right as they go in, forces Kendra to use the ult. Then Cassio is free and weird to just do as much DPS as she wants now. 405, absolutely massive. And we saw as the Aatrox TP in kind of what I was talking about earlier, because he TPs in, starts running it, and immediately gets a petrifying gaze right in his face, where it took them a while to DPS them down, but they eventually did, only trading Camille for it. And Camille's already behind. You don't really care if she dies, as who cares about talking about stuff?
Yeah,
we're just fighting
we're gonna
more.
fight more. Tendies is in, gets hit by the Syndra ultimate. Fear Tether actually broken on the bottom side of the fight, and now Algu jumps in, has the Proto Belt, trying to get that Z-Drive passive so he can get that little bit of extra movement speed. They will track down Nocturne and get that shut down. Camille's in the pit, but now Killering looking in from the side, gets polymorphed by Haley Kiyoko, but there's no ability to dash once you're on that miasma, and it'll be a small break maybe for us.
You would think that. So they trade 1 kill for the Rift Herald, which I tend to, at this point of the game, I actually tend to favor the 1 kill just because Rift Herald doesn't get you much when plates are down. Might be able to break a tower, which would be good, but it also means that Omar Bro's down for the 3rd dragon, and that's soul point at 18 minutes for RotM. Mountain isn't the biggest soul in the game. I'd put it 3rd in rank of power, even 4th depending on team fights, just because of how strong Cloud can be on some champs. But it is really big against this kind of team where they don't have an ADC, so the sustain damage isn't good. They rely a lot on the burst. I guess Cassio's sustain damage, but running on the burst makes Mountain pretty useful, and they only have 1 more to fight for.
Yeah, the individual Mountain Dragon's really kind of useless, but the Mountain Soul for that extra shield should help out pretty significantly, especially on top of like the Bloodthirster shield that Wuhujin already has and some of the safety that Lulu can provide. Now Algu finds the stun onto Vital. Can he actually find the last bit of damage that he needs? Gets exhausted, tries to dive in, but now Nocturne's here, has no ultimate, and he's just stunned up. There's the Wild Growth, though, trying to turn this back around. The ultimate from Draven finds its mark as Algu comes forward. Haley Kiyoko takes his 3rd kill of the game, and Return of the Middle Sticks does find the 2 kills in mid.
And we want to fight more. Everyone's fighting. They're out for blood. Vital gets cut out by Algu trying to farm. They have a funny moment where they're both trying to just stunned looking at each other as another fight top.
Yeah, Tendies and Parry Difference still showing no respect for one another. Tendies has to pop the ultimate, trying to kite back away from Parry Difference. Is going to get feared, but the Q already takes down the Camille. He can try to fight the Nocturne now. There's the Q3. 1 more auto should do it here. Oh, misses the Infernal Chains, but it has the Q. The double kill for Tendies in the 1v2.
Yeah, Parry Difference just isn't respecting how far behind he is. He keeps going in for these trades instead of going away, and Aatrox is just so much stronger that you can't do that at this point. Mike tries to come in and save him, but...
Sorry, Algu looking for another pick there, stuns up Lord Reeves. Return of the Middle Sticks finally going to hit some towers, get some PvE objectives here as they take the top lane tower for their 3rd of the game. Mid lane towers both still up, worth noting. Killering, not going to get caught by that Infernal Chains. I don't think they were looking for it anyway, as Return of the Middle Sticks going to take that base after a successful fight in the jungle.
Yeah, so we're going to finally have a reset, have at least 40 seconds of downtime where both teams try and get back and spend all the gold they've been earning. And that's going to be a lot of freedom on the top side for Return of the Middle Sticks with it down. Echo's been canceling his back. I don't know if he's going to stay. He is going to stay. There might be a fight again.
Potentially a fight again,
Okay,
but
it doesn't look good.
Yeah, let's take a little bit of inventory of some of these items that have come through. Quicksilver Sash on Wuhujin feels pretty big, as well as the 2 items finished up on Algu. You have the Death's Dance on the Aatrox. The item timing's not quite as good for Dog with Hacking. Oh, they actually lose the mid lane tower to that Herald. But back to items, but we have the Rylai's Crystal Scepter for Killering is kind of the big item that's been completed right now.
Yeah, just looking at item check completions is, at this point, pretty much all of RotM is on 2 items. Wuhujin's close, Define's close, while 1.5 items is the standard mark for Dog with Hacking. You're gonna at this point, you want to avoid fighting until you get that 2 items for everyone. Parry Difference is still looking for his first item because of how far behind he is, but you just want the 2 items, especially on the Syndra, to be able to try and one-shot Aatrox, who's now very, very hard to kill with Death Stance. He also has a stopwatch up, and
Wuhujin and
this
Haley
rotation
Kyoko
means
looking
it's
for
gonna
this
go down.
tower. Not going to find the mid tower, but going to try to disengage the stand aside. Actually, the minions do take it down. So nothing there on the Paranoia from Doghat.
Yeah, they do get the Wild Growth in exchange, and the Draven Flash, which is pretty big. Lose out Paranoia and the mid tower. That's a stun. Hops away.
Yeah, Divine's just going to hop away. There's Algu assassinates Mike underneath the tower, finds the Nocturne, and takes him back to the gray screen, while Tendies and Parry Difference continue their fight in top lane. Return to the Middle Sticks takes some initiative here in mid, just pushing down this tower. Ultimate burn from Divine, though. A good stun. Locks everybody in place as Killering trying to do this damage. Vital throws his ult back in. Wuhujin now trapped in the Hextech ultimatum as Tendies a little bit late to the party, trying to fight his way back out. But the rest of his teammates have all died. Now Tendies locked up, just trying to do anything that he can. Uses the stopwatch. Algu in no position to really help this out. And 4 kills go the way of Dog with Hat Gang in exchange for their inner tower in mid lane.
Yeah, the Return of the Middle Sticks, they're pretty strong. They have the run of the map. They get an assassination onto Nocturne. They're a lot better than Dog with Hat Game. They're not better than the Cassiopeia, and they kind of just ignore as she walks up and starts doing all the DPS, forces Kindred ult under tower, gets everyone low, then they just chase him down. Tendi's the strongest member of Return of the Middle Six, gets in late to the fight, and then he also wastes his stopwatch, which is such a huge cooldown to be rid of, and that also is at such a bad time to die, because that means that they don't get the Mountain Soul, breathe a little bit of life back into Dog with Hat Game.
Yep, Mountain Soul timer now delayed by another 5 minutes. The kill's actually in favor of Dog with Hat Gang, 17 to 14, but all of the map pressure in favor of Return of the Middle Sticks. Just sloppy game all over the place, just the way Return of the Middle Sticks usually wants it. But Baron now an objective that exists. I don't know if we'll see them fight the big purple worm rather than each other at any point, but it is an option.
I was about to say that fighting is all they've been doing, so there's no way in hell that they suddenly stop now. Who they decide to fight is a bit more of a question. I imagine it'll probably be both, and that they're going to start the Purple Worm and then turn into fighting champions. But it also depends on how they want to join in, because Camilla's bot with TP, matching the Echo, but she can't really match Echo. Only just now has her Triforce Stun, which is pretty big. It's nice that Camille finally has something to be able to kill people with instead of just being about 1500 health for the enemy champions to try and kill.
Yeah, we're just continually trading pink wards over the Baron wall right now, as Lord Reeves drops another ward into that purple worm pit. But Return of the Middle Sticks has taken a recall, and so has most of Dog with Hat Gang. So just a reset, and we'll see where these lane assignments go. Both top laners headed to bottom lane. Killering still chilling up in top. And it feels like there's no particular objective. It's very difficult to find people and kill them right now, so it's very... So we're just taking a minute to collect ourselves.
We kind of need it at this point, I'd say. They've been doing enough fighting that a quick lull in it won't be as big of a deal as it normally would in this style of game. It is going to be hard for something to start, though, because going back to Champ Select, there's no real engage on Return of the Middle Sticks. There is engage on Dog with Hat Gang, but they're also going into a team that's great at counter-engaging. So it's a little bit
Killering
rough
might be
as
caught on this ward. They
out.
get the stun over the wall. They'll get the assassination on the Cassiopeia, and that might have been exactly what they needed. That's a huge shutdown that goes on to Wuhujin plus the cash-in, and now they're looking at Baron.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be Baron. Killering is the only thing basically at this point keeping Dog with Hat Game in the gang in the game. I don't actually want to see them fight. At best, you go for a steal just because you can't do anything with Cassio dead.
Tendies is here. Mike's hanging around. He has the Paranoia available. They still have that ward in the pit, but he's being warded off. Divine gets the smite down. They get the kill onto Nocturne. So nothing really traded. It's the bot lane tower that Parry Difference gets. He's trying to claw some money back in the game, but the Baron and the kill go over to Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, really glad there that Dog with Hat Gang didn't decide to go in and contest that Baron. There was no way with your only source of power dead, there's no way you actually kill anyone left. So instead they give it up. Nocturne tries his best for steal, only blows his ult on it, worth a try. Dies, but it doesn't really mean a lot other than 300 gold. And that does mean Baron for the Return of the Middle Sticks, but it's also a bit hard for them to use it into the Cassio. She just gets to miasma outside the base, and it's a bit hard to walk on top of it when she can just kill you when you do, especially with Syndra stunning as well. I think the best chance for RotM to get anything with it will be a Tendy split push, because he now has GA done. Parry difference still can't deal with him. But it does open up to Nocturne potentially jumping on him in the side lane, so we'll have to see how much they actually get done with this Baron.
Yeah, we have 4 teleports up in this game. We could just see lanes split in 1-3-1. That would be kind of a traditional way to do things. We'll see where these teams opt to go. Right now it's Tendy's in the bottom lane getting that push in, trying to get some safe vision. Meanwhile, we have 4 people taking a scuttle crab as the dragon spawning in 50 seconds.
Yeah, that is going to be something that I think will draw Dog with Hacking out to fight. They don't want to give up the sulfur free, but they might have to, considering it's tough to vision check into a Echo.
Yeah, Algu might be in a little bit of trouble. There's no way he knows that Mike is there, but he might be feeling the pressure a little bit from Killering. But Algu will jump forward, grab that ward. He gets pinged out, but Nocturne's still on the wrong side of the map. I guess there's still 25 seconds, so we're not in any super danger just yet. But this Baron is ticking away. Tendy's jumps over the wall looking for parry difference, doesn't find him. Just going to take some more minions for his trouble. And now Divine has found Mike in the jungle, just tears through him. They don't have that critical damage. It gets blocked just a little bit by Lord Reeves. The block on the shield actually denies the Draven ultimate, and Mike will live, but he's got no health now as the dragon spawns.
Yeah, really crucial Guardian proc from Lord Reeves blocks that last little bit of damage from the Traven auto. That does mean he lives, but it also means that he can't contest for the soul. So it's now Mountain Soul for RotM, which is a pretty big deal.
Yep, and now a little bit of time left on that Baron buff if they want to use it. I'd like to see them try to siege something, at least get minion waves in their favor for now. This tower is nice to return to. They'll grab that basically for free. Lord Reeves doing a lot of work with this Unbreakable on the Braum. But now Return to the Middle Sticks pushing forward. A couple of minions left alive in this wave. Not going to be that. Tendy's gets chunked pretty low. He has the Guardian Angel available, but not much health left to buffer before it.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty much the end of the Baron push. They didn't get a lot from it from Return of the Middle Sticks, except for the map control to allow them to
now
get
maybe
the
have found
control.
Lord Reeves. Q3 not going to connect as Woohoojan, looking for a couple more spinning axes. Not enough damage, though, as he does flash over the wall. And now they're going to siege without the Baron buff on.
Yeah, just when you have Baron, control the map. When you don't have Baron, go ahead and siege towers. A little bit of a role reversal, but it does get them chunked pretty low, and some awkward recall timings actually mean that they might just be able to break down this mid tower.
Yeah, Algu's been doing a really good job with these W's, just zoning people off of the turret, but now Killering and
There's
Parry
engage.
Difference looking for that fight. They're going to immediately take out the Lulu to start the fight, but now Parry Difference is caught. He's not going to go down. He actually flashes away. Killering jumps forward. Tendy's is trying to do that damage. Algu falls as well, but another Q3 comes through. It's 2 for 2, but now Divine flashes forward. Parry Difference doesn't quite have it. He's going to use the Lamb's Respite just to get the distance from it. Can he time this out correctly? It's going to be the trade again. It's 3 for 3 on the fight.
Yeah, that was just a crazy fight. Really good response from Dog with Hat Gang. They managed to go in with the Nocturnal right after Algu used his ult on Echo, which means he won't be able to save himself. They get the absolute one-shot on Haley Kyoko, so no Lulu to save anyone either. But then it's just the gold lead from a very fed Aatrox and a Draven doing damage in the backline when there just isn't a lot of power on most of Return of the Middle Sticks members. Decent job from Parry Difference at the very nice little outplay onto Divine to get him and leave it at 3-3, but it isn't in him for Return of the Middle Sticks, which they normally wouldn't be able to break with Cassio, so I'd count that as a win for them.
Yeah, now just a couple of extra towers to try to clean up, but the base exposed for Return to the Middle Sticks. Still down 1 kill despite all of this, but up 6,000 gold, have the Mountain Soul on their side. Now 1 more minute on second Baron. We've got 3 minutes on the Infernal Dragon, or I always mix up Infernal and Elder Dragon. I'm not sure why those names particularly, but the Elder Dragon in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think Elder spews out a giant bolt of laser fire when he kills people. So a bit of overlap there. So Wuhujin has Lord Dominic's. I'm not quite sure why, considering there's actually no one with armor on Doghat except for Braum, which doesn't really rely on armor to block damage, so I'm going to do a bit of a call out there on item choice.
Yeah, I'm also kind of interested. Algu, I think I'd prefer to see Azania's Hourglass rather than the Death Cap in this particular game. I know he's doing very well for himself, but feels like that extra safety might be really nice for him to have.
Yeah, it's already hard enough to kill the Echo, although they can CC lock him well enough, so Zanyas won't matter in that case, but it is nice to have for that extra safety when they already have trouble killing you. So I
Tendies,
kind of agree.
yeah, Tendies kind of forces them back here. Baron is spawned. There's a lot of vision for Dog with hacking around it, but right now it's just going to be the siege and bottom lane. Keep them away from those objectives. Keep them away from team fights right now.
Yeah, just I think RotM are a bit banging their head on a brick wall. They don't get a lot done with this siege if Doghat play it right. So instead they're just kind of letting Baron be available on the map without pressuring Doghat to try and stop
Yeah,
him from
Algu
getting
gonna
it.
jump forward, trying to get the assassination on Nocturne. Parry difference gets caught potentially as well. A lot of damage coming through, but the Dravenult just not quite enough. Lord Reeves might be the one to pay for it as the Dravenult comes through. Algu and Divine both very low in this. They'll find Lord Reeves with the extra auto attack from Divine. Stand aside doesn't quite connect to get knocked up underneath the tower. Paranoia comes into the backline trying to get the assassination, but the wild growth is enough. Ultimate from Echo keeps him alive as Divine lives just barely as well. And the 1-by-1 dive doesn't pay off for Dog with Hat Gang as Tendies just flashes into the back, trying to find something onto Syndra and Cassiopeia, but they have to make a stand here on the Nexus turrets. One Nexus turret's under fire. There's no minion wave currently, or there's one minion, I guess, total right now. As Haley Kyoko's actually tanking tower. They'll take the Nexus turret down as Tendi's just layering in damage onto Killering. He gets killed through his Guardian Angel by the Fountain Laser, and the Nexus falls at the same time. Return of the Middle Sticks wins game number 1.
Yeah, and there we just saw the strength of the Eternal Sticks' comp. Doghat managed to land a couple catches, but try and go in, Kindred ults to save him. Go in again, Haley Kyoko saves him with the Wild Growth. So just a very nice win from Return of the Middle Sticks in a very, very bloody game.
Yeah, would you like to pick a game 1 MVP for me?
Probably has to be Tendies.
That's fair.
Just getting the lead on the top side, managing to smash down parry difference in the I people call it a female favored matchup, but I don't think it's Aatrox's unfavored either, so I won't go that far. But he did do a very good job pressuring him and taking the lead, and then kind of kept them rolling through the early to the mid portion of the game. Late game didn't do as much and got cut in a couple fights, but did still do a good job and got his team to the point where they had that massive gold lead.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and step aside for just a couple of minutes while we load into game number 2. Return of the Middle Sticks on match point. Dog with Hat Gang looking to stay alive in this series. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes.
I'm good.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 of the Diamond Final. Champ Select starting right now. Whew. All right, game number 1. We saw everybody fighting the entire game, and Return to the Middle Sticks took home the Nexus in the end. Now we're headed back into Champion Select. Same bands, same sides so far.
Yeah, I don't know how much will change. Band-wise, I think that all of the bands made sense and there wasn't any one pick that they were just completely unable to handle from either team. I do kind of want to see what different picks there are, especially from RotM, who tend to get a bit wonky with their picks when they have a one-game lead.
Yep, identical bands, and there's a difference. We leave open the Zac and take away the Echo, so they feel like that was the problem, and instead Return to the Middle Sticks just, if you remember that flowchart they posted at the Game of the Year, I believe pick Zac was the second one on that after the Ivern was banned, so there we go.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've noticed from their gameplay is they, whatever Ivern's up, they take that and also insta-lock Rengar for Tendies. If that's not open, they take Zac for Divine. If that's not, they take Sedge. The last game they ended up putting him on the Kindred, which is now taken away by Dog with Hat Gang.
Yeah, Mike gonna go ahead and pilot the Kindred into Zac, which feels like you could have some early pressure in that matchup, but two very different style junglers.
Yeah, and then counter pick with the Yasuo, who is Woohoojin's other staple pick, along with the Draven. And they're also going to be hovering the Aurelia for Tendies before it can get banned out in the second phase like last game. So we already have a very, very dive-heavy comp from Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, and the Syndra already not looking the safest against this team. We'll see if they can outplay. The Set is a really nice pick. Both pretty good into the Irelia as well as good into Zac. Can help counter the engage if you're good enough with the Facebreaker.
Yeah, I really like this set pick here. Parry difference absolutely popped off in it on quarterfinals against, I believe, I don't remember which team it was, but he did a very good job carrying with it, and it's really good in this comp. You can get Yasuo off of your carries with a suplex. You can suplex Zac away, suplex Zac into the Aurelia and the Yasuo, so it's just a very good pick that makes sense here.
Yep, and now our second phase bans will come through. Was that a no ban from Dog with Hat Gang?
Looks like it. There is posted in Diamond Chat that it wouldn't let them ban from Killer, so I don't know what protocol that is.
They banned Volibear, apparently,
Okay.
according to
Yeah.
chat. Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense. The Return of the Middle Sticks have taken Volibear Yasuo before. I expect an Alistar ban here if they're banning out the supports that would be good with Yasuo. I'm assuming that client doesn't screw them over again, which it is very much want to do. Small indie company, by the way.
Yeah, they did get the Darius ban. Okay, so we're not going to see Darius rise bottom, which would mean that they think that Yasuo is potentially mid for Algu.
They've also taken Darius support. I could see them picking Darius with Yasuo and just doing the run at them comp. I do think that I'm pretty sure that Yasuo's been taken bot. I don't remember Algu playing it much, and it's just a very, very comfortable pick for the bot lane. I expect them a bit to pick Cassio, or to pick Alistar along with it now. I think that that's the one that makes most sense with what their comp wants to do. And they ban away Cassio and Morgana, which are both good at countering engages, so we'll have to see what Doghat responds with.
Taric is going to be the pick. Whether this is a Taric Syndra or a Taric with an unknown 80 carry remains to be seen. But the Taric to help nullify some of the dive that's potentially coming out. I like that pick.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. You just get to pop the ult, if you do it at the right time, to just completely nullify the engage. Orianna for Algu, that's been one of his signature picks over the split, and it just goes even more all in on the Wombo combo that Return of the Middle Sticks is setting up. And they're going to have their support pick here try and round out their comp. And it's going to be Nautilus. Okay.
Yeah, Nautilus, a much more traditional pick than some of the ones we've seen from Haley Kiyoko, but again, more knockups, more AoE, more nonsense for Return to the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, just another one that makes sense. I was thinking Alistair. Nautilus does the same thing pretty much with the forced engage, knockup free and undodgeable knockup onto the backline to set up for your Yasuo Orianna combo. And Killering is going to go in with a pick he's played a lot in the Ahri, confirming Syndra bot.
Yeah, so the Ahri into Syndra, or Ahri into Orianna, the likely mid lane, feels like a decent matchup for Ahri. But then Syndra Taric against Yasuo and Nautilus in the bottom lane does feel a little bit risky for DWHG Gang.
Yeah, Syndra is able to stay a bit safer than most ADs into something like Yasuo because she doesn't have to actually walk up and auto as much. She can use her abilities, and one of Syndra's fun things is that she can move while using her abilities. Doesn't have to stop and actually have a cast animation. But Yasuo is also, from what I understand, considered a counter into Syndra because it's so easy to dodge all of her stuff. Because Yasuo gets a bunch of free dashes with which to do it. So I think that DWHG are more just looking to survive the lane. They're picking Syndra to stay safe and farm. They have the Taric. Looking to scale up into more team fights because I do think they have picks that respond well into what Return of the Millsticks want to do.
Yeah, now it's all down to execution. This game number 2 of the finals, we're into our spectator delay. Return of the Middle Sticks on match point. If they secure victory here, they'll take home first place and the fake trophy that we don't have. Dog with Hacking looking to extend that. If you're just jonesing for more league action, there's the gold third place game happening on Get Wrecked 2. Goliath Esports Warriors up 1-0 in that over Gods of Herald. But uh, back to business here. We got 2 minutes left. What lane are you most looking forward to watching here?
I think that once again, every lane basically has at least some potential for a lot of action. Bot lanes, except for I guess mid, is a pretty traditional farm lane, barring some crazy aggressive shenanigans, which I wouldn't exactly put past either of the teams after the first game. But Aurelia versus Set is a matchup that I'm pretty sure is Set favored, but or it's not like Aurelia can't do anything into him with her all in. And then Yasuo Nautilus, of course, is just a very, very aggro bot lane that can snowball extremely quickly, while Syndra and Tark are going to look to survive it, but are not bereft of options of their own. So it's probably going to be two side lanes where most of the action starts and farming mid.
Yeah, which draft do you prefer then? If you were playing a solo queue game, which comp would you rather be on?
I would probably favor. So I would favor the Return of the Millsticks draft just because it's them, because this is a very them draft. This is every one of their players is on a very comfortable pick that they've shown they can take over games on. They've all carried with this style of pick. They've dumpstered other players on this style of pick. Does everything they want to do. They have the option to dive. They have the full aggression. It's going to be up to Dog with Hacking to respond to that. They do have some good disengage options to try to keep away from it, but I'm not sure if they'll have the discipline to avoid being caught out with all the different ways that RotM can force on them.
Yeah, so a lot of champions in this game with the skill checks. I saw that comment in the chat that I really liked was just that all 10 players were willing to opt into skill checks at basically any point in the game, and it made it really exciting. And I think we're headed to another one here with a lot of individual agency on these champions. But 5 seconds to go in spectator delay. Spam the chat with who you think is going to win this game. Give me some hashtag RotM wins. Give me some hashtag DWHG wins. Uh, as a side note, really hate that as a acronym because it's actually more syllables than just saying dog with hacking. But
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And it's just, I don't know. It's a bit hard to say. They could have just done Yeah, it takes me a bit to think about it
I think
every
you just go
time.
dogs, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're loaded into game number 2.
Yeah.
Welcome back
Well,
to
then you
Summoners.
have yeah, then you have the problem of calling the one of the team dogs, which just has some unfortunate negative connotations, I think.
Yeah. Uh, so welcome back to Summoner's Rift, where you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. On the bottom side of the Rift, wearing the blue health bars for game number 2 will be Return of the Middle Sticks, and wearing the red health bars on the top half of the Rift will be the Dog with Hat Gang. 5 stack for Return of the Middle Sticks is there. Well, it's only a 4 stack actually. Yasuo is by himself, and it's actually a 4 stack counter on the opposite side of the map for Dog with Hat Gang.
Yeah, a bit of a departure for Dog with Hat Gang. They usually end up doing the 5 spread in basically, I think, every game of the playoffs that have happened. This time they decided to go with a 5 stack, anticipating the invade from Return of the Middle Six, which they're right about. Unfortunately, it was on the wrong side, so they're going to miss getting any info on what RotM doing, and RotM do get the very good ward on red.
Yeah, if they had done that same invade that they did in game number 1 with just the 3-man late invade in there, they'd be immediately dead. This game would just be over. But instead, Return of the Middle Sticks guess right on the invade path. They don't get anything significant for it, but they find that ward at their red buff.
Yeah, it's also nice because usually on that kind of invade, you have the other team respond with a counter invade into the opposite side to get their own wards down. This time they didn't manage to do it, so they're going to be mostly in the dark about what Return of the Middle Sticks are doing, where Rodham's going to be able to track Kindred as soon as she goes to red buff.
Yeah, so just the right side jungle starts for both junglers, and already small departures as Divine headed for a full clear, whereas Mike is headed for his red buff, it looks like, on the double buff. And Algu and Killering actually starting the fireworks with some trades of their own in the mid lane.
Yeah, some trading top, some trading mid. Set does get a bit of the advantage, but Corrupting Pod is going to negate a lot of that from Aurelia, as it looks like the fight's going to keep going. But Aurelia is very, very good in level 1 with the extra attack speed, and what's a bit underrated is the attack range that Aurelia gets extra than most people. I think it's 25 or 50 more range than most other melees that Aurelia has, so she can get in those extra cheeky autos that you can't respond to, which makes her a bit better early than you probably think. Set does manage to get the shove though, and now he's in a pretty gankable and risky spot.
Yeah, Killering walks into the enemy jungle. He finds Algu, doesn't hit the charm though, burns the ignite, and Algu will walk safely out of that one. The bottom lane was actually headed up toward mid to try to catch out Killering as well, but nothing happening there as Wuhujin and Haley Kyoko have to head back to the bottom side.
Yeah, Haley Kyoko giving the wall a bit of a lesson on why it shouldn't talk any smack to him. That's a charm, but Killering's out of mana.
Yeah, Killering's out of mana, doesn't actually have enough for the Q to follow through, doesn't have the ignite now either, so Algu feeling relatively comfortable as soon as he chugs this corrupting potion down. Now Mike, this is something that we've seen before, gets into the enemy jungle, Divine just going to be able to hop away. Algu waiting in the wings. I don't think they can turn this just yet, but because of the way the wave state is, parry difference can slide in before tendies as well, and Dog with Hacking will gain control of a Scuttle Crab, the big victory at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was a little bit risky for Mike. You noticed that Algu and Tendies were already tending towards that side. Killering was out of mana, so he doesn't contribute a lot to a fight, but does manage to get in, force the Zac off a bit, doesn't get much else for it. But what does happen is that Tendies moving down is forced to take it back as the wave was pushing into him. All in bot
double
side.
Knockup flash in from Haley Kyoko. They burn the ignite onto Vital, get another stun onto Lord Reeves. It's a positive health trade, but now a bunch of summoners down. It's both sums for the Nautilus in exchange for both sums on the Cinder as well as the exhaust on Lord Reeves, as Irelia and Set just go ahead and trade some blows in the top lane.
Yeah, so what I was saying about the invade earlier is that Aurelia was actually forced to recall and chose not to TP back to the minion wave as it was pushing out. So there are actually a decent number of minions denied from her. You can already see 5 down with the wave build up in her favor, so Set's going to be able to catch up quite a bit as another all-in is going to happen.
Yeah, Perry still has the W available, but he doesn't pop it. He doesn't use the W, and it's first blood for Tendies in the top lane.
Yeah, that was just really greedy from parry difference.
And the hook lands onto Mike. He's forced to flash away. He's going to try to get the scuttle. He at least gets the mark for his trouble, but he'll fall to Divine. It's 2 kills for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, didn't even get the mark. He had to smite it early for health, and Divine just smites it right after. But that was a big death from parry difference on the top lane. He had the wave in a good spot. He had the advantage, but just doesn't use the Haymaker correctly. Against someone like Aurelia with all the dashes and mobility, what you want to do is face breaker to stun her and then immediately Haymaker for the guaranteed landing, especially because he was already had the grid all stacked up. Instead, he tries to hold it, and then he's looking to be able to land the true damage center against the Aurelia, but she has so many dashes that he just got paralyzed by how many choices he had and dies, and that's going to put the lane in a very awkward spot as another stun.
Yeah, now they're still fighting in top lane. I guess they're going to live because we're watching bottom lane as Woohoojin taken pretty low, gets the double knockup from that Steel Tempest. They're still trying to trade down onto Lord Reeves. Neither bot lane has been back yet, so no extra items as Mike is here as he jumps over the wall with that Dance of Arrows, and it'll force the back out of Woohoojin and Haley Kyoko.
Yeah, I mean, while Divine goes up top, tries to get a gank. Parry difference is going to survive. Lane's going to push back into him, but just... This time around, both teams are still going for the action, but less devs are coming for Amit. Just better defensive tools on both sides. And it does look like DWHG are going to be able to pick up a free dragon off the reset timer from Return of the Middle Stick spot.
Yeah, I did want to apologize in chat. I have to personally approve all of the dog with hacking spam because you include the words hump of a lifetime, and that's apparently blocked by the filter. Whereas somehow on your asses is not. So just a small difference in the copy pastas, but apologies there. So
yeah, that's a little bit of a funny thing. Chat filters always make me laugh by the things they allow and the things they don't. At least it wasn't anything truly degenerate like 5M to trigger any of those flags as a hook lands.
Hook lands on the bottom lane. Vital gets taken pretty low. No ultimates available, otherwise that would have been a dead Syndra. Instead, just going to be the disengage, and Vital might have to look at a base. They're going to have Mike hovering, though. Maybe the bait from Syndra here, and we'll see if Woohoojin and Haley get a little bit too greedy in the bottom lane.
Yeah, he does have Tark to heal him up some, but that is a really bad time to get chunked right after his back.
Algu in a little bit of trouble. He gets ignited again. Killering still has another dash on that Soul Rush, but not quite enough damage to chunk through. And now Haley Kyoko's here. Divine jumps forward, gets the Chilling Smite, doesn't have anything to latch him to, though, and the flash away from Killering from the hook. Now Kindred and Tarek both looking, hovering around this mid lane, but everybody headed back to their respective sides of the map. Good game, everybody exchanging high fives, and they'll head back.
Yeah, once again, both teams trying to fight as much as they're able, but this time they're doing a better job surviving it. As we go back into a bit of an even state, we have but unfortunately for DWHG, their wave is in a very awkward location with everything that's going on. They have the wave frozen out a bit, and that makes it really risky to walk up with how strong the combo is.
Yeah, Woohoojin just hit 6, which is going to be a nice tipping point in that lane for Return of the Middle Sticks. Now Tendy's able to absorb some of the facebreaker damage, the showstopper from parry difference. He gets the flash W for the Haymaker and the extra auto attack as parry difference takes the solo kill in top lane.
Yeah, parry difference striking back as revenge for all the times he got killed in the first game and then the solo death this game. And just to find a really nice all-in into the Aurelia, has the ult into the wall. And Aurelia just doesn't respond with a flash follow, and that's going to be a really nice kill for him as the wave was crashing in. So Tendy's is going to miss out on a bunch of minion experience now. Does TP back, but only after they've died. And just very well done from parry difference.
Yeah, still only the one dragon has been taken. We're not going to get to even focus a little bit on that as Woohoojin and Haley Kyoko fight in the bottom lane. The Nautilus ultimate gets absorbed as Ahri has roamed down. The Spirit Rush not available, so not able to close that gap. But, man, I hate that strobe light if they just walk a little bit away from each other with the Guardian proc. Anyway.
Yeah, Spectator client is filled with visual bug.
Algu able to dodge the charm. Oh no, it wasn't the charm that he dodged. Never mind. Mike takes home the kill on the mid lane as they pick Algu.
Yeah, very well set up play there from Killering. Manages to herd Algu right into the waiting arms of Mike, who's just there for the extra follow-up. No flash on the Oriana, so Killering manages to go and get point blank charm. And that's just very well done setup and kill for mid lane to start getting a lead.
Yeah, and Algu, I feel like a little bit greedy with the teleport rather than a cleanse, especially into the Ahri matchup. Now Tendy's in trouble as Mike is here, has Irelia marked, and that'll be a clean kill going to parry difference, and the mark going over to Kindred.
Yep, just really well done again. Mike with a very, very nice set of ganks. Tendy's playing aggressively on the top side, trying to get the wave
Divine's
pushed
here.
in.
Can he find the mark? Nice happy feet there from Killering as he's able to dodge away from the hook and the stretching strikes.
Yep, just we see ganks trying to go off from both sides, but where Mike is successful, RotM aren't. Killering doing some very good jukes, and RotM is in a gold lead, but it doesn't actually feel that much with how nicely DWHG have been moving. Now they're going to be able to pick up the Herald, which I imagine they'll try dropping either mid and top to get the solo laners an even bigger lead than they already have.
Yeah, knockup does land onto the Taric. They're going to try to just chunk him out. Level 6 hit. Can he actually skill it in time? The Cosmic Radiance comes out and will successfully disengage as Lord Reeves has to burn his flash as well as Vital's heal to stay alive. But Ultimate's traded back, and now Vital the only one with one in the bottom lane. Oh, but he'll get jumped on, forced to flash away from Divine as he's made some impact with this Zac. Only one kill to show for it, but a lot of summoners burned. And now Algu hanging around the bottom lane and Mike being called down as well. This could be a bot lane party here in a second.
Yeah, we look and see that parry difference does have TP while Tendy's doesn't, so if they do decide to start something, it won't be a numbers advantage.
Yeah, hook lands immediately, and Taric is going to be blown up. He's the first victim of the fight. Stretching strikes land back on 2. It's 3 kills for Return of the Middle Sticks as Algu takes home a double kill.
Yeah, they were at a man advantage, but Lord Reeves was already low from the previous play, so he gets blown up immediately, and a very good response onto Killering and Vital. Zac gives him a little kiss for some lesbian action, which leads to their deaths as they go down as he jumps in. And that was just DWHG gang pushing a bit too far up into the Zac, giving him far too easy an avenue to jump on them with the help of the rest of his team and their follow-up as an all-in starts top.
Yeah, Tendy's and parry difference both just exchanging blows in the top lane. Tendy's has to burn that Vanguard's edge. Now that'll be down, and parry difference will be able to regen using that grit passive, as well as still has his ultimate available to maybe make something happen.
Yeah, one thing I've been noticing though is the parry difference hasn't really been using his Haymaker in any of these trades. He has the grit stacked up, Aurelio's walking away, but he just doesn't do it. He starts a fight again, but Nautilus is also in the area and might be looking for a play, going back mid. But it's just, he hasn't been using Haymaker very much in these trades, which I'm kind of curious about when that's such a big part of Set's damage in his kit.
Yeah, Tendy's using this stun really well, continually getting those dash resets. Now Woohoojin looking for something here, gets the double knockup. They'll find Lord Reeves just trying to sacrifice himself for Vital. Vital will get away from everything unless Woohoojin with the Airblade, the double kill for Yasuo.
Yeah, and that's just another double kill and a very nice play for Return of the Middle Sticks. They are going to lose a lot of plates in mid tower. Makes it look like 4 if Herald gets the last auto. Doesn't manage to get it. But that was just Vital and Lord Reeves pushing up. And when you push up that far, Zac, Nautilus do a pretty good job of jumping on you. And when you have no mobility on the center Tarkle also being down, you just end up dying. And that's going to be an even bigger lead.
Facebreaker up in the top lane will just be the disengage. And Vici, you may want to speed up your game just a little bit. I think you're just a tiny bit behind where I'm at. But now the 2B, now 3 members for each team are collapsing. It actually looks like Nautilus might be able to turn the tide. It's going to be a dash over the wall from Killering as he's already used his ultimate. Divine launches forward, has the stretching strike. The Kindred ult just buying time now, but he'll get knocked around. Let's bounce, proving to knock him away from the wall. Can't use the Dance of Arrows to get away, and it's another kill for Algu.
Yeah, and we see both teams just doing their best to group up and try and respond to each other's plays, and RotM are just doing it better. They're having their people in position, they have more men able to land the catches as Doghead are trying to get in with their rotations, and it's just leading to this situation where they're getting individuals picked off, and RotM are just picking up free kills now, which has given them at this point a 2,500 lead.
Yeah, they were out to about a 2,000 gold lead earlier, and we saw it get clawed back by DWHG, and we'll see if they can do it again. Parry Difference has finished up his Blade of the Ruined King significantly before Tendies will be able to, because he opted for the Ninja Tabby, and we can see the result of that. The all-in immediately from Parry Difference, and he'll pick up another solo kill in the top lane.
Yeah, Tendies is just down a complete Blade of the Ruined King, which is just so much. It's 12% current HP on auto. 12%! That's so much more damage than just the Cutlass gives you, and Tendies keeps walking up like he's equal in items and he's not, which eventually just leads to him getting soloed out by Parry Difference, and that is a very nice kill to have to give a strong side of the map to DWHG.
Yeah, Algu flashes away from the Dazzle, so Lord Reeve's not quite able to connect on that one, but you know, another point maybe with Algu's flash down that they can play around. He's got a decent sized shutdown available as well if they can cash that in.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one to try and take advantage of. Ahri is amazing at setting up ganks with her mobility to get in range for point blank charm, and Ori without flash is really vulnerable to that. But we've also seen a lot of other players rotating around the map, and if you try and go too all in when Zac and Nautilus are right there, you open yourself up to a counter gank that probably won't end up well for you.
Yeah, now Tendies again just scrapping with Parry Difference. Oh, his Q didn't reset there as he killed the minions. He's going to be forced to bork and run away from Parry Difference's set. And I did want to kind of pick your brain. Mike is going for a completely different build than Divine went last game, actually. He's got the Blood Razor rather than the Warrior enchant on his first item.
Yeah, that seems pretty awkward to me, because in this kind of game, you're sure there's Zac and Nautilus, but you also have Yasuo and Aurelio diving in, and you want to be killing them. And as far, to my knowledge at least, Warrior is better at killing these kind of squishy targets than the attack speed is. Attack speed's
Divine gonna jump in, not even gonna get to finish our thought as Vital gets knocked up. Mike is in trouble as well, but he's able to flash over the wall, has Ignite taking him down. Lord Reeves is in front, but he had the Cosmic Radiance to buy some time. Parry Difference teleports into the side, will take out Woohoojin. It's 1-for-1 so far, but now Divine and Haley Kyoko are in trouble. Just trying to kite this back out, but a big shockwave from Algu will equalize that fight. Divine flies back in. Parry Difference hits a huge haymaker, but doesn't quite take down Tendies as he jumps in. He'll take down Killering. It's almost a complete wipe, as now it's a double kill for Algu. They're trying to chase down and find the last kill on Parry Difference. Algu will finish it off. Triple kill for Algu, and return to the middle sticks with a 5-for-0 on the ace. Or 5-for-1.
Yeah, that's really, really big for a turn of the middle stakes. To go in with a team fight, they're decent job by DWHG at first trying to respond. Mike gets out just a second before he would have gone down. His ult was on cooldown while that fight was going on, so he couldn't respond in that way. He tries to get out, gets out of the wall, but they all get chunked low. Tendies manages to go in. Parry Difference almost makes the actual difference, but isn't quite able to do it. And I do want to criticize him a little bit in that for how long he was holding his ult. There are a couple of times he could have used it to try and get in range of more people, bring him together for the Facebreaker, group him up for a Haymaker. Instead, he holds on to it for so long as another fight started.
Yeah, another hook onto Mike. He has the ultimate available. We'll have to try to kite out with the Dance of Arrows. Gets knocked up. He gets over the wall. Will successfully live, but gives over control of the Herald Pit to Return of the Middle Sticks. Ward over the wall. They don't have Divine in range, actually, so this is pretty risky from ROTM. Algu has the ball over the wall, just looking for something. Now Mike jumps in. He's healed almost back up to full. Gets knocked up again, and will go down. I don't know who got the Herald. Nobody's picked it up. Haley Kyoko finally picks it up, so it was Return to the Middle Sticks. Parry Difference hits a Haymaker, but it's not quite enough as he gets Let's Bounced, and Algu is godlike. Now Tendies collapses from the side, not able to find Killering as he Spirit Rushes away. More kills, and the Rift Herald going the way of Return to the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, that was a pretty intense sequence of events. Dog with Hacking just keep trying to fight in positions where they're not able to. Mike gets out in a very well played escape from the Herald Pit, but then they just keep trying to contest it after they've already lost positioning, and that leads to even more free kills to the return of the middle sticks. And now they're at a 6k gold lead, which is going to be very, very hard to come back from with the kind of comp that RotM has.
Yeah, mid lane under siege, at least a little bit. You have the wave clear with the Syndra, so it's going to be very difficult to crack that. That's going to be the next step for Return of the Middle Sticks, is finding a way to get that. They will get the top lane tower as a result of the minion wave and the Rift Herald push, but the mid still stands strong, sitting about 60% health there.
And that's going to be a very important keep up, just so that they have an avenue to get vision control around Baron, or at least not completely see vision control around Baron. But it's also going to be hard to defend just because of how easy it is for RotM to dive. They have Zac, Orianna, Nautilus, Yasuo, Aurelia. Just so much potential for a dive if Dog with Hacking aren't perfectly in position to deal with them. So you're going to have to keep most of your members there at least to keep off that dive, but that also means you're giving up side lanes, which is just a lot of gold being wasted. So it's going to be a pretty tough balancing act for Dog Hacking going forward, trying to keep their tower alive while avoiding dying, while also picking up side waveform into some good duelists.
Yet Tendies has potentially found parry difference. Divine is here as well. Some Bork and counter Bork action. Oh, he grabs him out of the E. Really nicely played by parry difference, and it'll result in a pick for Mike.
Yeah, that was very, very well played from him. Just using his ability. He had the backup in his pocket. As RotM tried to look for the play, they thought he was alone. Backed off when it wasn't, but he was able to follow up. And that's going to be a pretty nice kill for them to have. Getting that shutdown onto Divine and stalling out any of the plays that RotM wants to make, and getting a mid tower of their own.
Yeah, the mid tower I think is the most important part of that, as they're able to get that kind of against the run of play, but might give them the opportunity to get some deep vision and get some more picks, and hopefully claw their way back into this game. But yeah, now we'll see lanes kind of go a little bit back to normal. Our solo lanes split on opposite sides of the map. Teleport up for Algu, almost up for Tendies and parry difference.
Yeah, just with that kill, things are going to go back into a bit of a lull. We don't have too much going. Waves are pushing in. Resets on the side of RotM as they look to complete their couple more items. I'm not sure if they have enough gold, but they want Black Cleaver on Tendies and they want Algu to have his death cap for the nice fight. And they are going to complete both of them. So this is the point where they are incredibly, incredibly strong. There's only 1.5 items on most of Dog with Hat Gang's members. They don't have any 2-item players, even if some of them are close. So if RotM managed to force a fight when they're all on 2 items, and those are some big 2 items as well, with Death Cap, Infinity Edge for Yasuo, Aurelia has her Bork, so they are much, much stronger than Dog with Hacking, so they're going to try and force it, and Dog with Hacking are going to need to try and survive it.
Yeah, and Divine just jumping in is enough threat. They're going to grab the pull. They don't get the kill quite yet off of the Cosmic Radiance. The Lamb's Respite actually buying so much time, but it's 2 falling, it's 3 falling as they dive forward. Double kill for the Zac. Parry difference on the backside, trying to do anything that he can. He'll assassinate Algu and take that shutdown, but he'll fall in the process. Another ace for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, that was just such a clean wombo by Return of the Middle Sticks. Zac managed to jump in, get a hold of everyone. Vital was barely saved by the Kindred ult, and then Turret came down as well, but they just don't have any follow-up damage after they jumped in. The item just completions were just way too strong. They don't have the damage to deal with RotM at that point, whereas RotM have all the damage they could ever want. So they're able to clean up the basically 4v5 fight with parry difference not even there, and manage to get a very, very big swinging gold lead in their favor.
Yep, they'll take the inhib turret, they'll open up that access. The big mid-bastion that we had hyped up has fallen, and now 24 minutes into the game, it'll be a third, well, never mind, we're going to have a smite fight. It goes to Mike as he's able to take it away from Divine. So that'll stall the Mountain Soul timer at least a little bit and even up the dragon count.
Yeah, that was a very, very crucial steal for Mike, and a very good job being able to get to the dragon in time, just to avoid soul point being for RotM, because it's not like Dog with Hat Gang can leave their base anytime soon. At this point, RotM has a absolutely gigantic gold lead with some very gigantic spikes. The only person I even think is at any parity is parry difference. So they're gonna be staying in their base for a while. So doing anything they can to delay that soul is very, very huge.
Yeah, really expensive build from Parry Difference. He's going for the Trinity Force after the Borg, which gives him a huge amount of power, but at the premium price of that power.
Yeah, you kind of need it this game just so he can keep 1v1ing Aurelia. Trinity Force is a lot better for the 1v1 than Black Cleaver would be. As here's an
They'll get
engage.
the knockup. Vital is down immediately. Now Lord Reeve's in trouble as well, and the hook will land onto Ari. They're just following through one by one. Dog with hacking fall, and it's 4 more. Again, an assassination on the backside for Parry Difference as he takes out Tendies, but it's another triple kill for Algu, and the middle inhibitor will fall. The Nexus turrets will be next, and we'll see if they can clean up the game before the timer expires.
Now, Parry Difference is trying to run his way back. His Divine's looking to stop his recall. I can't actually find him. He's going to flash away. I don't know that they'll be able to get Nexus Towers. I guess they will. A couple seconds on respawn, though.
Yeah, Nexus Tower number 2 should fall, but Vital is alive, and so is Lord Reeves. There's enough to try to defend. Parry Difference jumps in. They get the Cosmic Radiance just to try to buy some time. More knockups from Muhujin, but everybody is still very healthy on Return to the Middle Sticks. But now Mike and Killering are back. They're forced to flee, not quite able to take the Nexus just yet. Killering tries to land the Charm. They will get the shutdown onto the Nautilus, but immediately Algu strikes back. Return to the Middle Sticks, strike back, and RotM wins.
Yep, they're going to clean up. They're going to take the Diamond Finals. They're going to be the champions of the GRLCS in a game that was quintessential Return to the Middle Six. They had the all-in, they had all the dive, they had all the plays, and Dog with that game just weren't able to keep up with them in the end.
So the 2-0 for Return of the Middle Sticks, the double championship for the Return of the Middle Sticks organization. Just a really fun day of League of Legends across the board, especially if you're a RotM fan, but really for everybody. The gold third place game is still going on Get Wrecked 2 if you do want to check that out. But congratulations to Return of the Middle Sticks Gold. Congratulations to Sensei Squad for their platinum win. And congratulations again to Return of the Middle Sticks Diamond. Do you want to pick a series MVP for me?
Um, I'd actually have to give that to Divine for at least this game, just because of how well he was setting up with his engages later on. Overall series, I would say Algu probably had the best over 2 games.
Mhm. All right. Well, you heard it here from General Vici. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, you enjoyed the cast. Congratulations to our champions and consolations to our runners up today. And it was just a really fun day of League of Legends. And hopefully, you guys all enjoyed the season. We look to see you here for the Summer Splash. I believe it's Plat Capped and Uncapped. And um, yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you guys here in just a couple of weeks for that. So, uh, thank you, everybody. And thank you, General Vici, for joining me tonight.
Yep, glad I could come in and cast with you. It was